right, we'll call this meeting to order. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I had a chance to look over the agenda.
I have something to add. We have to add, resolution 2025-3, a copy of it's in the folder. This, Christy informed me that one of the other requirements of that rural business development grant is to pass a resolution. So I put that in. Paul actually surprisingly was able to review it before, the meeting, so it's all reviewed and everything.
Okay, we'll do that under the new business thing.
Yep.
I'd like to add something to miscellaneous as well.
Okay.
It's been brought to my attention, some things with the Western Sports Initiative Board, and we need to discuss that.
You want to bring that at the end of the
Miscellaneous,
committee reports?
yeah. Miscellaneous is fine.
Okay. Any other additions to the agenda? Okay, everybody got a chance to go over the minutes? So we just. The motion on the floor by Jessica, second. Second by Mr. Warner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Let them stand as.
Huh?
Yeah, you should do a roll call vote.
Oh, roll call. I'm so used to doing the fire department thing. Okay, Mr.
I'm here.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. Mr.
I was wondering if anyone was there.
Yeah, I know, sorry.
I caught it last time, but this time I
Yeah,
just
we're
was
all
going through
Yeah,
it.
just go through it.
I thought you meant for the minutes and I was like, since when?
Yeah. All right, everybody seems to be here. Okay, well, now we're moving on.
It's the Tuesday roll call.
It's the Tuesday roll call. Right. Okay. Old business, grant writer contract extension.
That one will have an update in the administrative process if you want to wait till then.
Yeah, we can wait.
Yeah. A minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when she said we got roll call. Then.
You were the first to approve it.
The agenda. It is
In one motion.
Tuesday meeting. I still approve.
Motion. Second, everybody said aye, then,
That's good.
then Ashley goes, what about roll call? I'm like, okay, I guess we'll do that one too. So.
We just start the meeting.
No, we're committed. It's 2 minutes in, we're committed. All right. I'm like trying to go down through this thing. Yeah, like we're checking off. Okay. Sad. We have a second reading of the ordinance, the M5 tank for the agreement for the cemetery. I'll redo the ordinance here. Ordinance authorize the extension of the certain agreements, the United States Army arraignments for the cemetery display, and that's for the M5 gun. There was discussion on that in the, I think the administrative process. But this is the second reading.
You were
Cemetery, yeah. So, does anybody else have anything you need to add to this or want to talk about? Okay. Now, second reading for resolution accepted UAN equipment for donation. Has everybody had a chance to look at that? I will try to pull that up as soon as I find it. And this is resolution of accepting the UAN equipment. I don't know how often we do this, but this is the stuff that we got just new, and this is the old stuff that we're going to absorb. Anybody else need to have a discussion on that?
Steph, were you able to get a hold of UAN to figure out what went wrong IT wise?
Yep, it's all good. We're all good now.
Okay.
It was a very long conversation that next day. Yep.
Okay, this will be the official second reading of that. We don't have the reports. We're gonna do the mayor, which is me. So I did have a kind of a busy week being the newly appointed individual. I'd like to give praise to Stephanie and Harold for dealing with my constant phone calls, trying to get up to speed, trying to make sure that I'm doing what I should be doing. And Stephanie Ford and all the stuff that I think I need to have. So I really appreciate you guys. So I had my merit meeting last night for the Park and Recs, which we will talk about that a little bit later. But other than that, that's all I have. So Stephanie.
I just have, I plan on, having the spring, summer 2025 printed version of the newsletter, put together by the end of the month, and then send it off to copy shop. It usually takes them about a week or two before it gets mailed out. This edition covers March through August. And I know in the last one I did like a educational thing, so I'm going to kind of stick with that and this time do stormwater in Weston, downtown vacancies and building ownership, and then some information on income tax with Rita. And then important dates I have so far are Memorial Day. I just need more details. Large Trash Day. I haven't given Harold the date yet, but he'll have to follow up with the company that we use for the dumpsters. Community garage sales, volunteer appreciation, which Jessica's working on more details for that. Tax day, which is April 15th, brush pickup, and then whatever events organizations and churches send me. And if space allows, I'll also put in stuff about the November election with the mayor's seat and the 4 council seats. So if there's any dates or stuff you want to see in there, let me know by Friday. That way I can have it all put together.
I got stuff for you for the fire department.
Okay.
For the Easter egg hunt, so.
I haven't gotten the newsletter like in my mailbox in a long time. Keep forgetting to bring it up, but I remember you saying to tell you if we haven't, like, I haven't gotten it in months.
It only goes out twice a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it like since when was the last time you sent it out?
Probably October.
I did not receive that
Okay.
one.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the post office
Yeah.
not delivering them properly. But yeah, I can give them the address and make sure, but how they are.
If I don't receive it when these go out, I'll call
Yeah.
them and be like, hey, like I know for a fact this went out.
Yeah, I know the one time, because I didn't get one in my own mailbox, but I knew it went out because the village got theirs in their mailbox, which is funny that we get our own newsletter, but that's just how the postal routes are set up. But yeah, I can put like a call out to everybody too and be like, hey, did you get it? And, just so that we know that it did go out. And then if not, we can start sending them the address like, hey, your driver isn't putting their stuff out like they're supposed to be.
Appreciate it.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to Harold.
I got everything except for the quote for striping. Bob texted me back, said $3,000 to have everything done. So that's the other piece of information you were missing.
Is that survey and engineering or just survey?
Just a survey.
This is referring to the parking lot. Okay.
Parking lot, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
What else?
I just, we're running into a little bit of a issue with salt. So we're gonna be, until the county gets more salt, we're gonna be out of salt. We're not gonna be able to salt the roads. The only thing we're gonna be able to do is put stone on the roads. We'll get pea gravel and that's what I'm gonna have to put on the intersections until we can get salt. Don't know, they don't even know when they're gonna get any more. And right now, they have enough to take care of themselves and that's it. And they're not giving any salt to anyone. So what we have in that truck and what little bit of I have on the barn is about a truckload, and that's about all we have left. So let's hope we don't get any more snow.
I'm supposed to warm up next week.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to get more snow.
You check with any commercial providers at all?
They said ain't nobody got none. That's what the county said, because that big salt pile that was down there on the docks is gone. I asked him about that, and he said that was gone last week. So, and they're not, they don't know when they're gonna get more salt in. Unfortunately. And that's about all I got.
All right. Code enforcement, that would be 10. You want me to read it or you want
I can read it. No permits issued since the last report. A notice went out to a house that had what looked like barbed wire on an existing fence. They actually stopped in today and I told them they gotta call Ken and update them that it's actually not barbed wire. It was just the way that they did their fence. It was like regular fence and then extra fence, like chicken wire or something on top of it to keep their dog from jumping out of their yard. Received a phone call from a property owner of the property on Silver Street, east of Lawndale, that he was ready to begin once again to plan on splitting the property and build multiple houses. This is the one that keeps going on year after year. He forwarded a copy of the existing subdivision code. In case everybody does not know, I found a subdivision code that was put in place in 1998. I don't think I updated like everybody on that yet, but I sent that to Ken, so he's got a copy of it now, and Paul. Let me reread that. Forwarded a copy of the existing subdivision code as the split would not be possible, and then also forwarded a copy of the ordinance to his surveyor. Talked with his surveyor and made him aware of the required lot sizes in R1 district and that splitting the lot would not be possible. Later, he talked with the property owner with the same information. He said that he would instead change the zoning to commercial. Told him that he would need to submit a complete report on what his exact plans are to ensure what his plans were, to ensure that what his plans were would comply with a different district, and have not heard a response. So usually he'll come in, he'll have all these crazy ideas and we'll tell him, oh, you can't do that because you're in this district. And then he'll come up with a new idea and it's like, put it on paper and then send it to us. And then we'll tell you your next steps. So it's a battle.
Would you be able to forward that subdivision ordinance to everybody? To
Yep.
Make sure they have it, because there's people on here that they're wanting something, and then there's also, we're dealing with
Yeah, I'll send that and also the zoning code itself in case everybody doesn't have that either, like easily handy.
Friday night reading.
Yeah, I don't think we can read it on Friday night. Maybe Saturday morning. All right, so then that's that. So we're looking at the committee reports, and the first one was cemetery on 2/6.
In attendance were Jody Domer, Diane Weird, Robin Kaiser, Harold Boggs, myself, Brittany Kukowski, Mary Easterwood, Jessica Souter, and Dawn Blandy. Jody has a quote for a new laptop given to her by Stephanie, which was $427.94. They discussed the possibility of using the old UAN laptop, but Stephanie and I had an email exchange, and Stephanie more or less thought that was probably not there that often. And I agree. Jessica, in to talk about the Memorial Day, provided updates on the ceremony for Memorial Day regarding speakers and logistics and possible promotions for local businesses. It was also discussed the possibility of having just the ceremony and no parade, and then they could add the parade in later years, depending on the success. Right now, the spring cleanup day is scheduled for May 3rd, 9 to noon, with a rain date of May 10th. Discussed doing it as a standalone day to get more community involvement. There's some tree stumps that need to be removed, and Harold is obtaining a quote for that. The American 250 grant has been submitted. They also talked about the Army M5 gun donation. It will be deeded to the village.
They discussed a plaque as requested by someone in the village, and a recertification timeline was also presented. Last, they discussed foundation price increase. The current price is 30 cents per square inch, which is $336. The new price suggested to charge per cubic foot. The new price is $30 per cubic foot, which would take the total up to $466.66.
Now we have administrative process from 210.
In attendance, Rick Easterwood, Stephanie Montz, Rob Meyerholtz, Craig Warner, Brittany Klikowski, Christy Galarza, and Jessica Susser.
Are you sure?
It was the last thing I added and it's not on there.
Okay.
And, I was just.
We're there. I
I'm
remember.
like, are the rest of my edits saved to this? And it doesn't look like they are. Great.
Is it the one from the council folder or the one from the committee folder? Because the council folder was what was in there on Friday. So if there was edits after that, you'd have to pull the one from the committee.
I was like, I worked really hard today. Give me a second. All right, committees. 210. Already.
We can move on to parks and you can find it.
Here it is.
Okay.
And it is edited. It has my name. There it is. All right.
Better under pressure.
So we talked with Christy Galarza, our grant writer. We spoke with her regarding her contract renewal that is up this month. And then we also got updates about all of the current grants that are on the table and projects that have been approved by council to go forward with grants, and then everything that is still in committee waiting for new ideas because they weren't a good fit. And then we are recommending as a committee, as a committee, to go forward with renewing Christie's contract. She'd like to renew as well. We talked about, we're still waiting to hear back from the county on certified revenue for fiscal year 2025. And we did receive the new UAN product. We discussed the employee pool to be managed by the village administrator. And we're drafting a wage schedule, which will include flat rates of 16 for per diem positions and 18 an hour when operating specific equipment. We're still working on that, and that is still in process. We discussed the pickleball project and the addition of $1,500 above what the grant provided, because we needed to decide whether to go with, whether we could afford to go with the permanently mounted pickleball net with the 2 mounting sleeves, or whether to go with a mobile. And when we looked at what we had set aside, the budget was $10,000 pre-budgeted for project grant. And the project, even with the sleeves and the additional cost of $1,500, still comes under that $10,000. So we are recommending to council to go forward with the permanently mounted pickleball net.
And it's going to be $750 instead of the $1,500.
I thought it was $750 per sleeve.
It was $750 per sleeve, but we agreed to with the contractor. We agreed to reduce it to $375 per sleeve.
Yeah, because we,
Now seven.
like, we should try to bargain.
Okay, nice. And then downtown decorative lights, we discussed how much it cost the village per month for all of the lights north of the tracks, all the lights south of the tracks, and that includes the Christmas trees. And all of that information was passed on to community development. They're gonna use that information in upcoming discussions. We also discussed the Weston app idea. Brittany is going to meet with the White House administrator who has their app set up through GoGov. Stephanie's gonna look into additional options, and then we're gonna discuss it in administrative process. It was mentioned, if we go with that, in order to cover the cost, we may look at Reach Alert and the mailed newsletter and swap them out. And then House Bill 331 is going to remain on our agenda. Actionable items, vote on the renewal of the grant writer's contract. We are recommending employee safety training be moved to the safety committee. And vote on moving forward with a mounted portable pickleball unit. And then I just also,
Just mounted.
I just mounted.
It can't be mounted in. It's removable.
Yeah.
it's not permanent, it's just mounted.
I think it's gonna be removable, right?
I thought that it's permanent because the
Yeah, it's,
one that was quoted was semi-permanent. This is permanent.
and then I just want to mention as an update to the grant writer contract extension. There's an extension.
It is that, or
Oh, no, that's not the parking lot. Grant. She has requested resumes. I sent you all emails on it. I know some of you have so much experience, you would easily cover our 30-year. We've already sent one. I'm gonna send one. Brittany's gonna send one. But if you guys could send your resumes, it'd be great. I'm just throwing that in as a side note.
When would she like them by?
The deadline for that grant is February 28th. So if we could get them to her by the end of this week,
Why does
gives
he
her a
need,
week. Huh?
why does he need them?
According to that score sheet she sent us that we looked at in administrative process, we can get up to 30 points for 30 years of experience in grants or overseeing projects management, basically. And it's really just solidifying to them that we have the experience to do well with the money. They're asking us to prove ourselves that we have the experience and the knowledge to do well with the money that they're going to grant. But I don't need to see your resumes. That's why I said just send them to her. And
That's not the point. That's kind of weird to me.
Mhm. Yes, it's proof of experience. Originally, Christy thought it was the contractors.
Right.
But when she talked to the USDA, it is us.
Huh.
That they're
Harold
looking
included in
into.
that?
Huh?
Could Harold be included in that?
He could, and Stephanie sent hers, so, because she's worked with the grants.
Yeah.
Um,
Got a resume, Harold?
I don't know.
Nice.
Just managing,
the project management.
just leave Harold, leave Gary out of your resume. Manage again. We don't want to need him to come back. I don't want him getting all upset.
But if you have those available, it would be greatly appreciated. Send that, it'll help us get as many points as we can. They suggested shooting for, 130 points or more to be favorable for the grant.
Do we know how close we are?
She sent an updated score sheet, but I haven't.
I might be able to pull it up.
And it will also depend on letters from businesses, which Stephanie gave us a template that was approved by Christy. We're going to take those to businesses and try to get some letters. We get 5 points per letter. I believe, I think that's what it was. Our resumes, there's something else.
We're at 125 right now.
A letter from Paul, a resolution. So we're working through it. We've got all the quotes, and I want to say that was good 5 quotes to get within a week. So Harold's been working really hard. Good job, Harold.
I'll get the rest of it for you tomorrow.
Thank
So
you.
Troy calls me, I'll get it run.
So we are almost there. We knew it was gonna be a tight deadline, but we are almost there.
Is that it?
Where can we get the templates?
For the business,
Do you just have them on a paper or?
I've got like 10 of them.
Okay.
Let me get some.
So we have a takeaway for the actual items is that we need a motion to go forward on the grant writer.
Yes.
So we'll start with that. Do we have a motion to go forward with the grant writer?
Second.
We got a first and a second. Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Mr. Rupp?
Yes.
Sister
Yes.
Cookowski, all right. So we're gonna move forward on that one. And then we have a motion to move forward on the current updated estimate that you provided in the folder for the pickleball. I just need a motion on the floor for
So
that.
moved.
We got a
Second.
first by Mr. Warner, and second by Mrs. Rupp. Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Mr. Rupp?
Yes.
Yes.
Miles?
Yep.
Sister?
Yes.
All right. We're gonna move forward on that. Anything else that I missed on that one?
The mayor has to approve sending employee training to safety committee.
Yeah. I think we'll be all right with that. We have a safety meeting coming up at the end of the month, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll move that. We should be able to move that after that. Okay. Community development and public affairs.
In attendance was Stephanie Foster Miller, Haley Belisel, Jessica Susser, Brittany Klakowski, and Erica Roop. We met with the regional urban foresters for direction on implementing a tree commission. We discussed the Humanities Spark and the T-Mobile hometown grants, waiting to discuss eligible projects until the empty council and committee seat is filled. Rural business development was, at that moment, it was nearly finished. We just got an update, and it looks like we need some points in the experience section by some resumes. Discussed, need to revise the subdivision code for any needed updates and clarifications, as that one was established in 1998. Contemplating where and when to hold volunteer appreciation event, possibly on opening day of ball for a larger turnout. Prairie project. We are considering having Harold burn the area, say July or August, where he has a little bit more time open. We are at this time recommending leaving the lighting above Main Street as is. We discussed all weather signs and or display boxes for parks and walking path. Actionable items for the tree commission, we were instructed that we all know we need a tree board, and our old ordinance would need some revamping. Those would be the first things to start with. Recommend Main Street pole lights stay up all year long. Move to administrative process for budgeting and quotes for all weather LED color changing lights. And we need to address Otsego Serves Day. Move to all committees, but now we have been reminded that the actual serve day is May 2nd, but we need to submit ideas by February 28th. It has been suggested that Operation Weston Glow Up, Revive, Restore, and Refresh has been brought to the table, which could include some beautification, cleanup efforts to parks, reservoir, ball field, and possibly some flower pot planting.
All right. That was a lot. All right, so the actual item is going for the mayor and the council to decide on the tree commission. I think Jeremy, that was kind of one of Jeremy's things. He had a template already he displayed to us.
The ordinance for it, they wanted it to follow their ordinance template.
Who's they?
The Tree City people that visited,
Okay.
they looked through it. They said that it was a good start, but we needed to go through and edit it further.
I think it's from like the 1800s, isn't it?
That was our first ever ordinance. We don't have one on the books for a tree commission. But I did meet with Jeremy because he's the one who wrote it and he said he did use their template. So I'm just gonna have to, I know, right? I'm just gonna have to go back through and meet with her and like have her highlight.
We can probably send that back.
I
to
think-
the process.
Yeah, it sounded like she was willing to come back multiple times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They for sure want us to be a Tree City USA. And I asked them, because of House Bill 331, I said, with a tree commission, because they say it in Ohio, instead of being tree boards, it's a tree commission. It's the same. They said, I asked if a tree commission would be considered one of those human resource boards for House Bill 331. And they said yes, because a tree commission improves the quality of life in the village because trees improve quality of life. So we could use it as a bullet point to argue for like, we meet all these requirements. We meet at least 5 requirements to be a village.
She gave us like 9.
Yeah, she had a lot of suggestions.
Human service.
Right.
So is there a cost associated with that?
Mm-mm.
Not that I'm,
As far as, I mean, how many trees do you have to plant and what do you,
You just have to have a set budget.
which we do.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
And according to what was templated out to us, it's, well, at least I took from Jeremy, is that this commission would be no different than our variance commission. It'd be comprised of citizens.
No, I understand that. I'm asking how much money we have to budget for that, number one, because not only do you plant them, but you gotta take care of them.
Sure, and then I think our current ordinance for our trees budget takes care of that. We just have to make sure we go through them and say, and like I explained to Jeremy when he brought that up, it was like, I mean, we have to include the arborist because, you know, I want to make sure that we take down what they also recommend, which is Rowe is our current person, to make sure if we take things down, what's the recommendation of putting how many up and where, you know, because that's another thing.
Our current budget line is $10,000 for trees. That is what's designated for that. And then the like recommendation to be a tree city is a $3,000 budget. So we well exceed it already with how we operate.
Mhm. Yeah, there were no fees. They do offer classes, but they're optional. And if you take the optional classes, there is a fee with that, but other than that, there's no fees with it.
And is there a deadline on this to make that capital?
No, she's not giving us a deadline.
Tree City USA application is December 1st.
I was gonna say, it was,
So that's on a rolling cycle, I believe, yeah.
So even if we do it, we have to have it on before December 1st or?
Yeah, basically, from what I understood is her suggestions were to come to council and figure out how we were going to decide to assign the people who were going to be part of the board.
Okay.
And then go to revamping the ordinance.
That would be
And
the
the-
first task.
Yeah.
And how
And
many?
it's really the only thing we have to do. We cover every other standard.
I think it was 5.
did,
It was three people of citizens, 1 council person and the mayor. I think that's what it was.
Can be 3 to 5.
Doesn't have to be the mayor.
members,
Okay.
Meets at least 6 times a year.
yeah.
And whether it's in or out of village limits is up to us, so we can take township or whatever.
Yeah, and they said like the council liaison would work fine as like your person from council didn't necessarily have to be the mayor.
The only other thing I should add is that we would have to establish an Arbor Day proclamation.
Which is crazy.
Did we not already do an Arbor Day?
It just,
We have.
That's all.
But I think it was just for that year it was done, so I don't know if they want like, do they want one that's ongoing, like this day is, or that you have to do one every year?
Every year observance, but it can be just as simple as like the mayor giving a proclamation with a gathering. It doesn't have to be a big fancy event. It's just
it just has to be
some
public.
kind of
Okay.
observance.
We could probably even read your proclamation here.
Doesn't say we read one last year. Couple things.
It'll definitely be a private event. I would have no problem doing that.
One cool thing though is that their annual awards is held in Bowling Green this year in April the 16th. They said it's a pretty big deal. City Park.
Yeah, they recommended that we go to that and ask around and see how other villages and towns are doing their things and stuff like that to get an idea of
I also didn't feel as if they did drive our village before coming in here. And, didn't really see any huge potential for mass takedowns at the beginning. No widow makers is what they said, so.
Do we want to move that to administrative process to make sure we have the mumbo jumbo or?
I think you just have to appoint people. And then it can.
So I would probably have to have another mayor's meeting. Nice.
There we
And then it can stay in community development.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do a,
Until.
call out, kind of like the Parks and Rec, and maybe the interested people could come to that community development while you're working on that ordinance to kind of
Sure.
express interest there. I don't know.
Are there any other villages designated in the area?
Haskins, I believe, is one.
Lindsay, Ohio's their smallest one.
That's what I was.
He said it was like 32 people and half the population was on the board, so.
The population of the community is actually on their board.
Oh, wow.
They want to get things done. Okay. That single service day being, I don't know, that's pretty.
Was that later in the?
Yeah, we do have it
Okay.
as
That's
a
down to the
topic.
bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll move on to that one. I guess we're done with that. We're gonna go to parks. Rec meeting from last night.
Pull it up. Great. In attendance was Rick Easterwood, myself, Rob Meyerholtz, Howard Lashaway, Doug Marion, and Ron Dallas. Rick started the meeting by stating that we needed a board for projects that were already approved. We needed people there to oversee them and take on that responsibility. The budget appropriations were reviewed with line item denominations because there was a question on how much the budgeting is going toward maintenance and how much is going toward like activities and stuff like that. Ron Dallas asked if there was an inventory list for items owned by the park board. Discussion was held about where that list may be, and it was agreed that a new one would need to be made once the board was formed. They would have to make inventory for it. Ron asked what the previous board's vision was, and he was informed by Christine that the previous board's goal was to improve the community pride and image. That was their whole goal. The donation policy was discussed for local businesses in general, because it was asked about if they could receive donations from businesses for prizes and stuff like that. Ron expressed interest in improving advertising for the Parks and Rec events. And Rick swore in Ron Dallas and Doug Marion to the board. They wanted to ask if the board could host a video call during meetings for others to attend while not being present. And board members cannot attend virtually. There's a note from the clerk, the response. Citizens can attend just like council meetings, but there's the issue of the host having to be in attendance for the meeting to activate. Unless Google has changed their ways, board members will also need training on how to set up the meeting system. So to answer them, yes, but they wouldn't be able to vote just like us. They'd have to be in person.
I think that's what we told them anyways.
Yeah.
So the three people got into a group chat, text message chat, so they're gonna try to work together on things because there's some scheduling conflict from some of the members via surgeries, I believe. So they're gonna work together, and we're gonna hope to do the next month's meeting at a later date, not the 12th, I think that's when it was, because Christy can't make it. So they're gonna try to work through it and get us a better date where everybody can attend, even Brittany. So, and like I told them, I said, moving forward, that, if the liaison's not there, no big deal, because she's also busy. They can at least talk, but they would have to report to us at a council meeting as if we were waiting for the liaison. So they were aware of that. Okay, then we're going to talk about the SIB. The SIB, right?
Oh.
Board, right? That's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, okay. So it has been brought to my attention. Some things that I don't know that I've fully processed until recently. As long as the Sports Initiative Board fund is on our line items, we cannot transfer them out. This we knew. What I had not processed, and we had talked about it in the original stages, that there would be this transfer period where they're building up their newly created account, spending down the account they have here, but that's a delicate process. We had approved a 3-year utility hold, but that would mean that they can't be independent for 3 years. And they have submitted their EIN, a copy of it, to Stephanie, so they are officially a for-profit. I believe we need to review that in administrative process.
The funding, I mean, do they have anything that they would want to big purchase item to get them off the book quicker?
Well, they have a meeting on the 25th, and I will be at that meeting. That'll certainly be on topics.
Like equipment or whatever they. Quicker.
I know that they are eager to be on their own as well.
Sure.
But we did vote and approve as a council for that 3-year mandate. So I believe we need to discuss that in administrative process. I'd also like to request that Paul be at that meeting.
An administrative process?
Yeah. It's in our Weston Sports Initiative Board folder, but they have turned in their articles, which is basically a contract. It's been notarized already. So if you have a chance to review that, and maybe add it to our administrative process folder as well. That was just my request.
Okay. Thank you.
Could that not be alleviated by the suggestion that was made that the village do not charge them?
Potentially.
One of the reasons it was brought up.
Yeah, that's what we need to discuss since we voted and followed the recommendation of the board or the committee, I should say.
You can revisit it too. So it's not big. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Because that's like a contracted thing that they can't.
Right, they can't, exactly.
Okay, upcoming meetings. Tomorrow we have a planning commission here. We actually have 2 variance hearings, one at 6 and one at 6:30. Safety, the 24th at 6 p.m. Safety Building. WSIB 225 at the library. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then Public Works is 226. I believe that's still here. And that's at 6 o'clock. Is everybody okay with those times and dates? Make sure. Time to correct them. Okay. All right. New business. We're gonna have 3 emergencies. One emergency ordinance is 2023.
2025.
2025-3 is creating, ODNR for Nature Works of Fund, authorizing and directing the fiscal officer to create an ODR Nature Works Capital Project Fund within the established financial and budgetary accounting system for the purpose of segregating funds received and expended for the capital improvements to the Alumni Park Basketball Court and declaring it an emergency. Does everybody understand that? If we do, we just need a motion to.
When are they gonna transfer those funds?
When we pass this,
Oh, so they have them ready is what they're.
we don't get them until the project is paid for. It's a reimbursement.
Right, okay.
agreement. So whenever it's,
You're just setting it up for
Yep.
that.
So we need a motion to suspend the rule.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerhold.
Yes.
Ms. Soucer,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay.
and
Now we
pass.
need a motion to pass ordinance 2025-3 for the Nature Works.
So moved.
We got a motion, Mr. Meyerhold, a second.
Second.
Ms. Kukowski, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp, Mr. Meyerhold,
Yes.
Ms. Soucer,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
All right.
And just so I can answer the question, will you issue a purchase order for that?
Yes, to all the contractors. So we have Rudder and Dudley for the asphalt, Sportscape for everything else.
Okay.
So they'll
You know
each
when
get
you were issuing that?
after probably tomorrow. When I put all these in and get all the funds set up and everything.
Okay, we have another emergency ordinance for 2025-4, advance for the Nature Works. This is authorizing and declaring the fiscal officer to advance monies from the general fund to the recently created ODNR Nature Works Capital Project Fund to return its equivalency sum to the general fund after the grant funding to amend the appropriation to declare an emergency. We just need a motion to suspend the rules.
One question.
Go ahead.
With utilizing those funds that we're gonna pull, obviously, from the general fund somewhere, is that shorting us on something until the funds are, until we're reimbursed? Is that going to
We're gonna take it out.
affect somebody's budget somewhere?
It'll take it out of, the amount that hasn't been appropriated yet. So we have that variance. That, because we don't appropriate all our funds,
No, I know we
obviously.
don't.
So there's, each year we always have a variance of stuff that can be pulled for things like that. So
I just wanted to,
technically, yeah, it could, if we had like a big, let's say $200,000 project
Oh,
or something. It-
zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, so technically for a few months, it would be short,
Okay,
what,
that's, I just want to make sure
23,000, yeah.
it's not in somebody's budget.
No, it wouldn't come from anybody's budget,
Insurance covers the zombie apocalypse.
maybe.
All right,
Guys.
so we get a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Second,
Second. Mr. Warner,
yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz, Ms. Susser,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
All right, so now we need a motion to approve such ordinance 2025-4.
Second,
We have a first and a second, Mr.
yes.
Warner, Ms. Rupp.
Yes.
Yes.
Meyerholz,
Yes.
Susser, Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you do this one. When is it?
So this is resolution 2025-3.
Okay, it's right here.
As I mentioned earlier, this was a requirement as Christie was going through her checklist for submitting this grant, that they require a resolution to be passed that establishes an administrator of this grant, allowing them to apply. We do this with quite a few grants like OPWC, so.
Okay, resolution is 2025-3 is a resolution authorizing the village administrator and or mayor to apply for and administer the Rural Business Enterprise Grant, RBEG, and or Rural Business Opportunity Grant, which is our RBOG, and declaring an emergency. Need a motion to suspend the rules.
Second,
You got a first and a second, Mr. Warner,
yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Miles,
Yeah.
Ms. Susser,
Yeah.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay, now we just need a motion for resolution 2025-3.
So moved.
Second.
Just a second. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz, Ms. Susser,
Yes.
and Kukowski.
Yes.
All right. The Jeffersons, we're moving on up. Okay. Approval of expenditures, you still want to, she wants to separate the reimbursement.
Yep.
So we just need to, if everybody had a chance to look at the bills, we just need a motion to pay the bills with the separation of.
So moved.
Okay, first, a second.
Second.
Sure.
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Ms. Kukowski, okay. Now we just need a motion to pay all the bills, right?
To pay the reimbursement.
And to pay the reimbursement, that's what we need to do. We Need a,
So moved.
so,
Second.
second. It's like an auctioneer. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholz,
Yes.
Ms. Susser, you're gonna abstain.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was prepared on that one. And Ms. Yeah. All right, I'll take care of that. So miscellaneous business, which is the Ohio Services Day, not CO Service Day. She's got the information on that one.
I think Erica read it. I think it was, I sent out to everybody.
Yeah, we had kind of pushed it back with, I think unbeknownst to us, that these deadline to submit ideas was fastly approaching, which is February 28th. The actual serve day is May 2nd. It was suggested for the Operation Weston Glow Up, revive, restore and refresh, which perfect time of the year for that. And that would basically be some beautification, cleanup efforts to the parks, reservoir, ball field, possibly some flower pot planting, etc., weed pulling.
There's a deadline on that of submitting a project?
Yeah, you gotta submit the idea to OTSEGO by the 28th. So that's why I sent that like beautification, like even if we keep it basic like that, the school will probably select, and then we can narrow it down even more specific as
Sure.
it gets closer.
Even if we like you said, if we had the mulch by then or we don't, you're prepping for
Mhm.
a lot of things going on at that time of the year.
I'm possibly gonna see him on Thursday. I can ask him if we have to have it specifically one item, or if we can include like 4 or
How
5.
broad it can be.
How
or-
broad it can be.
So who is going to be the contact person to that? So, I mean, you guys are gonna submit it to the school by the 28th, right?
I'm not on the committee, but
I can take care of that as long as I think we need to figure
decide
something
that
out
you're gonna
quick.
do it.
I'm gonna take advantage of a member of the Sports Initiative Board being in the room. Do you ask Jared to put together a list of maintenance for the parks that we can give to the teenagers from Otsego to do part of this, and then have it available by the 25th so Jessica can have it and we can submit it by the 28th?
I think Janetti already knows, because I sent that email to everybody plus cemetery and, yeah.
We need to reserve money for that then?
No, it's a
No.
volunteer.
It depends, if we're gonna plant flowers, but we already
Absolutely.
we already have a budget for that, so there, yeah,
Then you could buy paint.
some supplies that we already prepare for, but they're doing the labor.
So if we think of any other ideas of things that we see around town, should we submit them to Erica then?
I would think so. I mean, I don't want, 4
Yeah.
people on behalf, just one person. So if you want to be the.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem.
Who's gonna supervise that day? Any idea? Will it be the administrator or?
They're probably gonna have a crew from the school.
I believe it's
Someone
I was gonna say from us, yeah,
I can clarify
I'm
some
talking
of those.
about-
yeah.
Probably depends what.
'Cause it'll probably be during the school day, so I mean, I'm here too, Harold,
Mhm.
since it's during our hours.
I would assume it's their school day, not
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Much more.
And we can probably recruit our village administrator.
I'm gonna have them in here cleaning this.
I mean,
whole room.
If we need,
Top to bottom.
or, we do, I guess, probably have to fine tune a little bit of it, but we need to figure out what we need to do to send in, how specific we need to be, I guess.
There is an example in that email that for service projects might include but not limited to yard work for elderly community members, landscaping or maintenance on local parks or recreation areas, litter cleanup in your village or town, and then use your imagination, but keep in mind it's for students ages 14 through 17.
Mhm.
So just like simple, like what you would give your kid to do in the yard.
Pair of scissors.
Cut
Cut the grass.
grass.
Punishment, okay, sorry. Okay.
Says that we just need to reply to the email by February 20th with the details of the project, and then they'll follow up to finalize plans. So I think if we just submit something broad and they come back to us, if it's past the 28th, it should be fine.
Sure, and there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
And we still have a host of gardening tools and rakes and shovels and stuff, so we have stuff at our disposal.
That we need.
If we need to, we can provide the truck to,
Load
For them to
things or
drive.
whatever.
so.
I do have a couple of items in miscellaneous that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
One of them, and I've talked to Stephanie about it in the past. I'd like to find out if council would want to send a committee to look over, a possible cleaning service for this building. To do it properly. Not that Stephanie doesn't do it properly. I'm talking about it.
Talking them for like a regular basis. or-
Yes, on a regular basis.
We have a local company, right?
Regular basis,
There's someone local that does that, right?
on a regular basis, just send it to committee to determine whether or not that's what we want done.
Okay.
And the other item that I would like committee to find out is, we can send it to committee would be to determine whether it's necessary to have, the council liaisons to both the cemetery board and the rec board. And the reason I bring that up is I myself would like to see members of the board present to council in order to eliminate some communications extensions. Not that anybody's doing a bad job. It's just that if they're on that board, I'd like them to at least see them and report about it. Now, we can take that into consideration within a committee, whoever is going to be in charge, but I'm just asking that we take a look at it.
At the Park and Rec meeting last night, you know, Christine basically said that was one of the hangups where she felt there was some disconnect between council and them. I'm not opposed to it, so, but like I said, I express, you know, just because our liaison's not there, I really would encourage board members to come in and speak on the.
Well, they would as far as reporting.
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
We can take that to, I don't know if that needs to go into a ministerial process.
The liaisons, my only question is the ordinance. And with the levy, it was my understanding, and I could be wrong, because this was my initial understanding when I was assigned liaison to cemetery, that because there was something because of the levy, they had to have a liaison.
we never had it before. It was only instituted when Jeremy came in and reset the boards. Never had that before. The boards would come and report if they needed.
We can find that out. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
that's
can find
why I
it.
was saying
Yeah,
that
we'll
would be
just
my
find that
only
out if we have
question.
anything that's on record on that.
A board is,
Actually, when I was on there, we all talked to Paul because I was on cemetery board and rec board. And I remember like the rec board meetings would be until like 10:30 at night. And I would be like, I can't continue that. I think you remember me saying that. And he said I didn't have to be there. They would just have to do the report, send it to me.
well, I don't think they would even have to send it to the liaison.
As long as they send it to the fiscal officer, she could.
As long as they send it to fiscal
That's the way
officer.
it goes.
Oh, so you're saying just send a paper report to Stephanie and Stephanie read it?
Well, that, or if they have some specific projects that they feel, come and report it to council directly.
Yeah, because there are two board, or three boards, I guess I should say, the planning commission, cemetery and parks and rec, all are their own board. So they have a person that's assigned to take their minutes, and they're supposed to keep track of those. Obviously, they need to be on file here, so someone's got to send it to me so that we can file it in a book, so.
We can, I think we should go look forward into that and make sure it's not violating a cemetery, you know, levy law or whatever. Okay,
That's why a board is a board.
I get it, but we have stuff on file now, so we have to make sure we have to either revoke what we have on file and still be current.
Well, actually, I think I asked Stephanie this today. It was only under a voice vote that it was done that way. It was not a resolution from that standpoint. Am I correct?
For the Parks
For
and
the-
Rec document,
Yeah.
that one wasn't put in as an ordinance. It's just a document that was approved that does say that a liaison, I think, is required for that board, plus they're up to 5 members or whatever.
We can, like I said, we can
Look
review that
into it.
under review the administrative process. I don't think it's a bad thing. Especially with everybody's busy schedules. I mean,
It's the other thing.
Yeah.
Just another meeting.
Mhm.
Okay, we're gonna move on to visitors. So we're gonna go off what we have here right now, then. Going to.
Sorry.
Tell,
I'm okay.
Mr. Lashway. Son,
I'm here as a representative from the Weston Sports Initiative Board. We would like to request a blanket PO for $5,000 to get us prepared for opening day and also for becoming the 501c3 supplies and miscellaneous equipment, which would be possibly an inventory control and credit card payment system and a printer for miscellaneous equipment, about $2,000. And concession stand food items for $3,000 to get us started.
so $3,000 for the product, $2,000 for your equipment, and
And
total of 5,000.
miscellaneous supplies to like notebooks and things to get us started.
So 5,000 altogether, but covers all the,
But you have in your EIN number now and everything, you do have a bank account, correct?
We do have a bank account. We had to put $100 in it to open it. The 501c3 application, I believe, has been submitted, but we haven't received anything back from that.
But you have the EIN number though.
Yes.
So you're,
Yeah.
you're done.
And at our next meeting, we will be discussing field maintenance and equipment. So I'll probably be back to request that. And they also wanted to know what the status of the contract or lease agreement, if there will be one, or will it just be terms and conditions? And where are we at on that?
We're gonna figure that out, because that's what Jessica pointed off to see if we need to just eliminate that 3-year contract that we already approved and just, that's why I was asking if she needed anything to spend down. This sounds like it'd be a good idea.
I would highly suggest that it just get eliminated so it gets rid of the red tape.
So do we need a motion to spend the PO, to get a PO for the 5,000?
yeah, just make just do a motion.
Okay, so we're gonna need a motion,
So
WSAB for the $5,000 request.
Second.
First and second, Mr. Warner,
yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerhold.
Yes.
Ms. Husser,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
All right.
Congratulations on going through that process.
I always check and they always tell me no. But
Well, because I mean, she's part of the board, so I mean, it's, that nothing should be going,
What,
if I'm,
if there's a conflict, I don't think. so.
No,
not like
No.
that, not unless you two, are like, you would abstain from the reimbursement, which was related to the
Mhm.
Sports Initiative Board, that's different.
Yeah.
Don't forget your virtual visit.
Well, I'm not going to, I was just making sure we had it, but. Mr. Patel? Mr. Patel.
he's too busy with the kids.
All right. Mr. Dallas. Busy with the dog.
So, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I was just signing a form for my daughter.
That's all right. What do you got for, council?
Just a couple of questions. 3 actually. What do we have in the general fund right now?
What do we have, what?
In
The
the
general
general fund right now?
uh,
I was gonna say in that folder.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it over to the ladies in charge here.
Oh, that's not it.
Pretty easy to read the bottom line.
I won't use this time to dock you.
I'm
So
searching quicker. 506,705.21.
All right. Do we keep any of that in reserve just in case emergencies?
We have a primary checking and a investment account. The investment account holds a big chunk of money, to gain interest on it.
Well, give him the number that's in the investment.
So actually, what you want to hear is probably our total amount,
Yeah.
which is 1,147,768.95.
All right. And is there a regulation rule where you can only spend so much and have to keep some back?
I do believe we have to keep.
In in the investment account?
Or
Well,
just
the
in general?
total,
Just-
just the town money.
No,
No.
general fund is, explain that the general fund is based on our appropriations for this year.
Yeah. So that amount right now, we have in our general fund, we'll use that one as an example. We have the 506,000. But throughout the year, it's gonna gain more or it's gonna lose some based on our expenditures. So it'll fluctuate.
And tax revenues that comes in.
Yep. All our different types of revenue.
Yeah, I understand that. I know money in, money out, income versus expenses. I just wanted to know if there's like a set amount that you just keep on side just in case, like you never spend it, just in case there was something.
We
Comes up.
discuss like a set amount that we don't ever touch. We discuss it quite often in our administrative process to put a number on it. With us being a smaller entity and revenue fluctuations, it's hard to put a number on that. That's why we're still trying to fine tune a number that works for all of council, what the reserve should be.
All right, thank you. The next one is for Mr. Warner. We talked about this a long time ago about having some sort of survey done for the infrastructure in town underneath the roads. Do you have an update or?
I believe we are working on a grant for that.
Okay.
A summer intern program to get that done.
Okay, is there a way you can use some of the monies that you already have to get it done? So before.
I think we're a good candidate for a grant to get it done. So if we could eliminate not spending any money to do it, that's a.
This grant would encompass more than what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
The grant
Okay.
we were the grant we're going for is for the whole total infrastructure. As far as assessment, trying to figure out what we have, what we need to replace and everything else. What we had project for is peanuts compared to what we can get for the grant. So it was recommended us, we just stick with the grant and go from there. And
Yeah,
then- I'm not 100% certain not saying we're not going to do anything. There's still some projects, but it may not be in a timely manner because we would like to get the whole thing encompassed in a grant versus piecing it out. Because once we start piecing it out, we lose the value in that.
Yes, I totally understand that. I was just curious because I just wanted to make sure that we have a plan going forward before it rains again and then it floods and then there's
Yes.
a whole bunch of people pissed off,
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Dallas.
Yeah, I'm not sure who brought up the streetlight assessment.
Me.
Doing some kind of 1 year or 2 year assessment on the cost. I'm not sure if that was Craig or Brittany.
I
don't think
nothing was done
assessment.
here now. I mean, we currently have an assessment
Yeah.
for improving of the streetlights, which we did do.
Are you talking about leaving the lights, the decorative lights on all year?
That may have been part of it. I thought it was more of the cost savings that we may have established by taking the old streetlights out and putting the LEDs in.
That was before my.
That was I think that was before me too.
Oh, yeah, we haven't looked to see, actually, I may have reported on that.
I think that,
A year or two ago?
yeah, I think.
That's how we adjusted our assessment. So our streetlight assessment that goes on every year, I think was around, I want to say 26,000. And with the change out of the streetlights, we were able to bump the assessment down to 22,000.
Right. We saved about $4,000.
Yeah.
And there was also talk in the public works about adding new lights to certain areas because we saved such a big savings that we would rather have more lighted areas versus just kind of reducing everything down.
No, I totally understand. Now, my light just got changed a couple of years ago. That's why I was under the assumption we had just finalized that. So
I believe it took us a while to get the actual numbers of what we saved versus.
Yeah, because I think they didn't, yeah, I remember this now. It
Wasn't it
was
really
just recent-
higher? It was really higher. At one
Yes,
point.
because they had it coded wrong in our bill and had to do a credit, so it's trying to
Balance.
clean itself up.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can probably put something together for the next meeting and report on what our savings have been now that it's kind of fixed itself, yeah.
And hopefully Harold can probably report, because that was an ongoing thing with Public Works, to see if he can get back with Edison, because obviously Edison is the person that installs them, so we can get back with Craig on, or whoever the public.
I'll get back with Craig on that.
Anything else?
Yeah, just a suggestion for the sports initiative. You may want to approach First Solar and see if they'd like to advertise on 235 and maybe supplement your night lights down there for night games. A lot of people will donate to that kind of situation if they're recognized for it. Just a suggestion.
Okay.
And with them being a separate board, that opens up a lot of avenues for them.
Absolutely. Yep. In the 501(c), you can do that kind of thing as opposed to the village having it. So just a suggestion. I've solicited things like that in the past.
First.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not 100% certain who's on the third person.
I don't know
Did you
either.
mute them or did?
They should still be able to unmute themselves.
That's a phone. There they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't unmute them, so they'll have to, if they want to speak, they'll have to unmute themselves.
We went to everybody on virtually. We have one more person that doesn't have a
I can't.
name to attach
It's
to
just
it.
got a phone number.
So,
It's Jen Russell. She is working.
okay, all right. Okay, with that, we did the citizens and visitors. We're going to go into executive session to discuss the candidates for the open council seat. So we just need a motion to go into executive session. Second,
Second.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Rupp, Mr. Meyerholt.
Yes.
Ms. Hooser,
Yes.
Ms. Kukowski.
Yes.
Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to vacate, stick around, because
Do you want me to stay or go?
I'm not staying.
I would go home and feel sick
Yeah.
at home.
That's nice.
Okay, we exited out executive session at 7:36 according to my thing. And the executive session was discussing of the candidates for the open council seat. So right now we're at the
Open nomination.
for nominations. Open up the floor for nomination votes.
Motion to open the floor.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the floor has been open for nominations.
I nominate Ashley Patel.
Do we have a second?
I don't need a second.
So
I nominate Howard Lashaway.
we have a motion to nominate Howard and Ashley.
Anyone else?
I don't think there is anything, so we need a motion to close the nominations.
I voted closed now.
All in favor, say aye, I guess. I mean, do a roll call if we need to, but
You can roll call for your votes.
yeah. Okay. We're gonna do a roll call vote for who they so choose. Warner,
Ashley Patel.
Ms. Rupp,
Howard.
Mr. Meyerholtz,
Howard.
Ms. Susser,
Ashley Patel.
Kowski.
Ashley.
That's a 3-2 vote. And I guess Ashley Patel will be our new council person for fulfilling my vacant seat. And
Swear in.
yeah, we'll swear her in and then not swear at you, but swear you in. And then we'll, like I said, this is just a temporary seat till the end of the year. If you so choose to continue it, your seat would be open. You would have to petition and go back on the ballot.
I've done this before.
When you're ready, we'll have you come up and,
When you first got on council, were you appointed?
I was planning.
You were appointed.
I took.
And then you
Mercy.
ran for election.
That's right.
Yes.
okay,
My right hand.
that's fine. I won't make you face the camera.
No.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah,
so-
hold on, let me,
Yeah.
you're in frame now.
No.
No, before she had the seat that she went on camera.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to,
Get a picture anyway.
yeah, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Ashley.
No, okay. Do hereby solemnly swear to affirm
Do solemnly swear to affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio
the Constitution and laws in the state of Ohio,
and the village of Weston,
in the village of Weston,
and that I will faithfully, impartially perform
that I will faithfully
and
impartially
perform
perform
and discharge the duties of councilperson
and discharge the duties of councilperson
according to the law of the best of my ability.
according to the law and the best of my ability.
You are it.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'll have you sign something with her name.
With that, she also will have a iPad for you or something, some type of device. What?
That's what we were supposed to ask that,
I
later.
asked her earlier.
Okay.
It was, I asked her off topic, so
Yeah, sorry.
now you get back a chance to work with her on it, so. Okay. So if that is it. Just need to, if everybody's okay.
Well, you need to inform her what committee she's on.
Oh, yes. What is it? You are going to take on 2 committees in a liaison position. As we discussed earlier, the liaison position, if you can't make it, just revert to the committee of the
Okay.
John and see if somebody else can represent or take notes for you.
Okay.
So you will be on safety and community development and cemetery.
So what does that mean? Safety, we are going to meet the 24th at 6 PM at the fire station. And
I'll make a copy.
and
Oh,
then
here, I'll
the
just give you
community
this one.
development's the beginning of the next month, which that'll come. Do we have a bill? The dates on that.
So yours will be the ones that say.
It was like the third something or something.
That
We
helps.
Changed it last, could be wrong.
So we'll add you to the email thing for the community development and then we'll let you know where the times and places.
Tuesday.
I think they changed it, right? You guys kept it the same, right?
We changed last because it fell on,
Because of this holiday,
Okay.
but it's normally the third.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we have the calendar on the website and online if you look at that regularly or not.
I can show you too. If you have Google Calendar,
that's been very helpful.
you can put it on your phone. And it helped Eric to get the stuff.
That's effective now. I don't have to go to safety then, right?
Correct.
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 Okay.
Correct.
I know.
I am,
If that's it, we're gonna adjourn. Any of you guys got anything else?
You have to have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, we're gonna make a motion to adjourn.
No move.
second,
Mr. Warren.
Yes.
yes.
No.
Yes.
Ms. Kowski. We're gonna adjourn.